Welcome to Random Crafty Acts. This is the last in a series that of filling an Operation Gratitude box. I'll dig this out, and I think when we met last, I had said that I probably wasn't going to do anything else with the pieces that was left, but I had the time this morning and the inspiration and decided I would go ahead and finish. The only pieces that I have not used at this point are the books, and that's because I have grandchildren who are avid readers, and I'm going to use those in cards for them. Okay, I have done all of the pre-cutting this time because there's several cards to do and I want to get this all into one video. All right, so the first thing I did this morning was I worked on these, and let me double check, as we say, to make sure we're in frame, and yes, we are. Okay, and this is the 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 background. One of them is on a white card, the others are on a cream color card. This one I remember if you saw the video from yesterday, I had this frame left over, so I dug around, and this is like scribble writing, I think, and I found a stack of scrapbooking paper that I had bought that was like had print like this, and I have no idea why I bought it, but I cut it into small pieces so that in some respects I could use it as scrap or use it to experiment on or whatever. So when I was digging through those things, I found these pieces and I thought they looked pretty nice on there, so I used the pink stamps. So that's 2. These were those circles that I had a tendency to think of as plates, but I think they're just like round glass things that you might hang on the wall, and the brownish color in there matched the brownish color on here. And again, this was a piece of scrap that I pulled out of my scrap bucket. So there's that. That we're going to put together, that we're going to put together, that we're going to put together. And okay, these will work kind of through the quickest. Remember the little mushroom? I really like the way this one turned out. Basically, we just have the 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Again, this is a very simple card, but because of the way the colors came together, I feel like it turned out really well. Okay, and you can't really see it on the camera, but this green paper has a bit of a texture, and I just did something other than what I intended to do. I meant to cut this out of there, so I'm going to grab this piece of scrap paper. I'm going to go ahead and cut this oval. I'm not gonna move my die cutting machine over, but I will pause the video. Okay, I meant to use that method where I cut this circle out of this piece, but actually not a circle, it's an oval. But I've been in my scrap bin, so I've got a lot of extra pieces. And then we'll put the other mushroom here in the center. Put this on the front of the card. I'm filming this in June on a Thursday, where the temperature didn't check exactly, but I think it's 90 something and feels like 100 and I don't know. It's been brutally hot. Okay, so there's 2 more. All right, so let me actually look this time before I jump. Okay, this was the little tiny piece that kind of looked like a wall hanging. The circle is in an odd spot, and that's because these pieces they're basically directional paper, except there's a piece that's like upside down, and it makes me wonder if like kind of the way this, if you look at this, like this is this way and this is this way and this is this way, so it's going to go okay like this. This piece had something that was just like flat upside down. And yes, I do notice the black and white butterflies on the opposite of this paper. And one of the advantages, if you're buying pattern paper and you buy some that is double-sided, it can increase your options. Okay, so how did I do this? Looks like I put this just on the circle as if it's hanging from the top of the circle. There. Okay, and then I think we'll just put the circle right in the middle based on how the plants are in this. And I basically chose this paper because the greens matched up. And since that is centered, we're going to center our sentiment. And then this goes on here. Again, these are going together so quickly because I spent all morning matching and comparing. And okay, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. This was the other one, that odd little glass dome setting behind the books with the mushroom. I found some leafy paper, so it looks kind of, I don't know, outdoorsy. So this is a piece that we're going to cut. So the square is 2.5 by 2 3/4. So we want to cut our black piece that we use here at 2 3/4 is 3. I usually just add 1/4, which gives me a nice border. And then 2.5 would be 2 3/4. And then we just keep hanging on to those pieces. Again, this was some double-sided paper that I found in my stash. All right. And then we're going to put this at the side. And I went with white because of the white inside here. I did try this on cream because of the coloring. Cream usually works really well with this brown. Again, double-sided paper. Liquid glue, where we can slide it around until we get things exactly where we want them. This is not fitting together right. Let me double check the... Yep. Sometimes when I'm having too much trouble getting it to fit, I double check the width or the length, and it turns out that it's just a hair off. And when you're trying to get the narrow piece here, and I think that's what's wrong here. 5 1/4. It is. Let me show you. Okay, so when I put this on here, there's the 5 1/4, and it's just a little bit off. I have to clean this up. It looks like the piece got cut slightly crooked, which makes, let's see if it works a little better this time. I don't have another piece of this, so we have to figure out a way to make it work. And mostly what I do is I keep cutting it down until I get it to where it's, yeah, that's a lot better. Almost. Okay, I'm going to pause the video and do some surgery here. Okay, so it looks like when I cut this, the paper shifted or something. So I've got these slicey bits. Yeah, that's better. And notice that, I mean, the solution was you just like make it a little smaller. And that worked. Okay. 2 more makes 7. Okay. Remember the heart? This was one of the other pieces that I had a hard time finding something to do with, so I dug out an embossing folder that had kind of an intricate pattern in it, and I came across this piece of pattern paper that looks a little like burlap, and that's kind of the background behind this heart is almost like a knitted pattern, and that is, I don't even know what color that is. It's almost a mint green, but it's really, really pale. So I just kind of took those colors and put them together, and that worked pretty well, I think. Okay, so we have this black piece in the middle, or the black piece that goes on the base. We have the burlap in the middle. Okay, see how that didn't quite glue down? This is something to be aware of when you're trying to glue on something that's been embossed, because you have to press it down so that it sticks to the area, the lower area, as well as the raised area. And it is one of the times that you might want to use the double-sided tape. And then notice I measured this heart to figure out what size that square needed to be. Then I'm going to slide back here to where I keep my all of my sentiments in a toolbox kind of set of drawers that I basically lifted out of my husband's workshop. you know, I just kind of go in there and it's like, are you using this? Well, kind of. Can you tell me where you bought it so I can buy one? And then he usually ends up giving it to me. Yeah. It's like, no, just take this one. All right, and then we put this on here. Okay, and I put that one on white instead of cream, and that's okay, doesn't hurt anything. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. Really? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Uh-oh, that's an uneven number. Okay, let me check the time to see where we're at. It's still just a 16-minute video. All right. This is 3 1/4 by 5. And this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. As is. And this is 4, 5. So if we were going to layer all 3, and I don't know if we're going to do that now. All right, I'm going to do a scrap card. Because as I showed you the other day, I have been gathering scraps. Okay, this is the easiest scrap card to do. I took the strips from the green card where I had pieces left over and cut them. I think these are almost 1/2 inch. And you can, and they don't, they don't have to match, as in like width and all of that. But what you're looking for is to make sure that you don't have like the white edge. I mean, at least that's what I'm doing. Okay. And then I put this. Same thing here. I line that right up against the edge, and I press pull this over so that the white doesn't show. Okay, and then we make a decision if we want to add. I've got some thin black. I think we'll pull the black strip back in here. Notice I'm just letting those hang off the edge. You'll see in a minute why we do it that way. And there are all kinds of patterns you can use. If you search by scrappy cards out on YouTube, you're going to find a whole bunch. Okay, then you just come in along here and you trim these off. And you hang on to those, because if you're making a series of scrappy cards, and we may find we need one of those little teeny tiny pieces, you'll be surprised. I don't throw anything away yet. Okay, so I think I'll go with we're not quite quite to that point yet. And then notice that that piece I cut off will fit right here, which is how you start feeling like, okay, I'm making all these scrap cards and I still have scraps and I don't understand why. Okay, let's see. It's going to be easiest to do it this way. All right, now I'm down to the corner. And so I'm either going to want this or black, probably this. And that's because it's going to go on a black background. I'm just trimming this like right close to the edge. All right. And it also, the other thing is, this is, it doesn't have to be the exact pattern. In this case, the pattern worked out pretty tight. I have also made these where I just take all of my strips and I don't worry about how well the colors coordinate, or I just start laying them across. And you'd be surprised how nice it looks by the time you get it all on there. Okay, and then that one is just a really tiny bit. And so we just need to let that set for a couple of seconds and let it dry. And then kind of do the same here. I've also laid this like in the guillotine and trimmed the edges if it looks like I really needed to. All right, and then what I had picked out to go in the center of this is this big thinking of you that I made on my silhouette. And this is it's 110 pound, but it's a cover instead of index, which means, again, that I bought it before I really understood that. It was like, oh, look, that's on sale. Yeah, and it's just like way thicker than what I normally use. Almost a little too thick for this particular card. Okay, I've got some white showing there. I'm gonna do one of my tricks that I do. That's not working. Not that that matters. The card is thicker than I thought. More thing. Yeah. Okay, I could also cut an oval up a size from this and lay that inside it, but I think this is enough. All right, so with a handful of pieces that I was going to throw away, and then I go back through here and I save like the big ones. If I was in a big mass making mood, I would just keep making these until I ran out of all the stuff. And then this goes in the recycle. Okay, so 1, I should have 12, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, and I'm not entirely sure. That's 152. I think we started here with 4, so 10, 18, 20, 30, 46. 46 doesn't sound quite right. I'll have to add up at some point exactly how many cards I got out of here, but it should be close to 100 because I know I put one, for the most part, I put one embellishment on each piece of cardstock, except for that one case where I did 2. Okay, there we go. If you have not subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate it if you would do so. All you have to do is go over and click on the subscribe button. I link in all of my videos, I link to Operation Gratitude, and so the more subscribers I have, the more likely it is that the videos will get pushed out as an option if someone starts searching for basic card making. And it will help us attract card makers to Operation Gratitude. Thank you so much for being with me. We're going to be doing a whole lot more of this because I've got a whole lot of this to deal with. Thank you. Have a great day.